Hey, it's Dr. Jeff Burrows here. We are in our number 2 video of our series of 3 of the ultimate guide to getting optimal health. So just recapping a little bit what we were just talking about on our first video is on how that subluxation or that nerve disturbance is affecting our communication to our body, which affects our different systems of our body, so it doesn't allow us to reach that ultimate health that everyone is after, and not even able to reach our full potential. So now we're just going to be going over a little bit more, show you a little bit of exactly on how that works in our body and what you're able to do and understand in order to help get the best results in our office. So share our screen here again. So to some of our patients, this should be a reminder. This is our brain-body diagram. And so you guys should be able to remember this. I might even have you guys, hey, guys, come on and tell me how it is. But just remember, is our brain communicates with our body through our nervous system, and also our body communicates back up to our brain through our nervous system. So we want to make sure everything is working the best it can. And when that is working best it can, that's when our body's going to function properly. That's what we were just talking about in the last video, making sure all our systems are working the way they can, make sure that we are able to reach our fullest potential and ultimate health. And that's when our body's in a state of ease, nice and calm, nice and balanced, homeostasis, everyone likes to call it. And that's when we get health. And before we had those definitions of health on what it is, and each person's a little bit different. You know, when someone is healthy, think about what do they look like? What does that person are? You know, and everyone has a little bit different definition, but we have to all remember too is that pain is probably the thing of health that we don't really want to focus in on because it's not the best indication of how healthy we really are. So what happens though, when we are in that good health, we're feeling good. And that's probably like the best thing that we're talking about. That's also though our other systems or everything all are functioning the best they can. But what happens though is we get that subluxation. We have that nerve disturbance. And that's caused by the 3 T's. Those are traumas, toxins, and thoughts. And we'll talk about that a little bit more on how we're able to reduce those to help that. But when our body can't deal with those stresses anymore, the fuse gets blown out, gets nerve disturbance. So now the communication between the brain and the body is not working the best it can. So how do you think our body's going to function? It's going to function better or worse? Exactly. It's going to start to malfunction. Something's going to go wrong with it. Our body goes into a state of dis-ease, you know, the beginning stages of breakdown. Instead of being healthy now, we get ill health. And instead of feeling good and how our body's working, moving around, everything else, we feel bad. Now, a lot of times when we start to feel bad, you know, we go to our doctor or we go to a massage therapist. We go to do something to start to feel better. If we go to our MDs, a lot of times we expect, unfortunately, is to get something. We expect to get a prescription or medication. Now, that medications work. I have to say that. But the thing is, it's what it is working on. Because all the medication does is cover up that bad. So now you just don't feel it. Exactly. That's why pain is not the best indication. Because all that medication is doing is covering it up. So that's like saying if you're in your car right now, you know, driving, your check engine light comes on, that's almost your body saying that's your body flashing pain. You know, check engine lights, do something about it. Now, if I took a medication, that's like taking a piece of black tape and putting over that check engine light so I can't see it anymore. The problem's still there. It's just that we can't feel or can't see it anymore. So that's what it's important to understand is that problem, that subluxation, that disturbance is still there affecting our bodies, how it functions. Body's not in a state of ease because now we're not in health because we're feeling bad. So medication, at times it is needed, but also a lot of times we rely too much on it and it gives us a false sense of really how healthy we are dealing with that too. So a lot of times when patients come into our office, they get to expose our scans. And I think these are the most important tests that we'll ever experience in our lives. Because everyone knows, okay, you have your blood test so you can see on how your cholesterol levels are doing. It also shows on how our sugar levels are. It has a respiratory, it has the thyroid, it has the vitamin D, it has everything in there to see exactly on how our blood's doing. But again, what controls our cardiac system again? Remember? Our nervous system, exactly. So would it be more important to understand and look to see on how our nervous system is working? Exactly, and that's why we do our scans. Our 2 scans that we're going to be discussing today is our thermal scan, which is really telling how our body's regulating itself, And then we also the EMG or the muscle scan, just seeing if we're using too much energy just to do sitting in a normal position. And I put up 2 little cases on here too. We have on a thermal scan, we have a 21-year-old who's had headaches probably over 10 years, almost 10, as long as she can remember. And then also on the EMG, we have a 9-year-old boy with ADHD. And anyone familiar with a 9-year-old ADHD, they just can't still, they seem like they're a bundle of energy, just going. And you can see, when we look at our scans, white's normal, green's mild, blue is moderate, red is severe, black is off the charts. You can see we have a lot of issues, both, with the headaches, we have a lot of issues up here in the neck. The EMG, you see a lot of wasted energy, especially in that first half of our bodies, and then also in the lower half with that too. So after we look to see initially when people come in to see on how they're doing, we also want to make sure how they're progressing. We want to make sure the adjustments are doing what we anticipate. Are they getting some of the nerve disturbance off the body? And that's when we get to see that. So, after we do our scans every 12 visits in our office, you can see with our 21-year-old, after getting adjusted, she has less headaches. She has more energy, something she didn't really probably expect, no sign of being healthy. And she also is able to stop her medications. So again, that's helping our body cleanse a little bit too. Now with our 9-year-old boy, you can see we saw some great changes with him also. We have more focus, he's calmer, doing better in school, never had to go on those medications. So you can see on how important it is that once we get our bodies, that disturbance off our nervous system, how our body's able to function, starting going back into a state of ease, it's getting healthier. Now, a lot of people always ask me, what happens after restorative care? Do you just high-five you, you're out the door? No. Our patients, you can see, stay under care. The reason why is because they want to make sure is that they stay healthy. So they got back to health to this level. Now they want to stay here. They don't want to go back to where they were. They want to stay up nice and high and start continuing that. And you can see we have a 60-year-old female, a 7-year-old male, both under wellness care. They're doing fantastic. You see these 2 people, you can see they're tons of energy. They don't look their age. They're active, don't act their age, what a quote-unquote typical 67 or 70-year-old is supposed to do in our society. They're active, they're doing things in their life. They're living life to the fullest. They're reaching their full potential. So you can imagine now someone who is that age, imagine how about, with our children are getting adjusted. How much activity that they're able to do, they're able to thrive, how they're able to reach their full potential. So that's why it's so important that we see children getting adjusted, is make sure that they're able to get healthy and stay healthy, so they have to live a long, healthy life with that too. So now we already know what the different systems of our body. So what do you need to do in order to reach optimal health? What are the essentials to life? Number 1 is having clear nerves. I'm a chiropractor. I deal with the nervous system. Having the clear nervous system, no disturbance on those nerves, allow that communication to work the best it can. That's when we start to see the best results in our office too. The second one is limiting those 3 T's. Again, we were just talking about those traumas, toxins, and thoughts. Those are 3 stresses. Now, to understand on why these are so important to eliminate these, now our bodies, we were talking about earlier about when our body comes into stress, we're talking about the bear or the police officer, we get under that stress, our body goes into that sympathetic overdrive. Remember what happens? Our blood gets filled with cholesterol, fat, sugars, our digestive system gets shut down, immune system gets shut down. We can't really we're not able to live our lives to the best. Now, when we talk about the 3 T's, those are also the 3 stresses of life. Traumas, what can they be? Sitting down too much, working on a computer, looking on our phones all the time. Car accidents, slips and falls, something major like that too. Toxins, what are you putting into your body? How much water are you putting into our bodies throughout the day? Are you eating clean foods? Are you making sure foods that are not junk food, like all these fast foods and everything else with there too? Thoughts, what are we thinking throughout the day? And that's what we were talking about earlier. That's why we don't use the word crack. Why? Because it's negative. Why do you want to have something that negative going on through that body? You want to make sure that's going with it. So some of the things that we could do is start limiting the traumas. How can we start to limit some of the traumas? Make sure you're in a good posture. Are you moving your body? Are you walking, exercising? Have a trainer. I have a trainer myself. Why? Because I want someone to be able to push me and make sure, hold me accountable to it. Even though I do my other things by myself, I always want somebody there with me. But also, how are we sitting throughout the day? Are we in a bad posture? Are we doing the spinal exercises, which is going to be talking in our 3rd video? You know, what are we doing throughout the day in order to help reduce the stresses on our body, that trauma on there too? Because again, we can't undo car accidents, we can't undo slips or falls, but we can do a lot of things to help limit that. Toxins, how can we limit those? Make sure what we're putting into our body, be very conscious of it. You know, you want to be drinking half your body weight in water, especially as the summer comes around. You want to make sure you're staying hydrated throughout there too. You want to make sure you're eating plenty of fruits and vegetables. We want to make sure more of a plant-based diet. You want to make sure you're eating organic, or at least stuff that's locally grown. The reason why is less pesticides have to be on. They're fresher, have more nutrients in it. Find your local farmers market. These guys are fantastic. They have all the foods that are coming in our areas, so you're able to find that. Also, you want to make sure what you're using around your house. You know, are you using a lot of toxic materials? You know, because stuff that you breathe in gets on your skin. Yes, everything they put onto our bodies get absorbed into. It's a toxin. And then also, what are you using into it? Are you using these toxic sprays? Are you using something? You know, are you making your own sprays using essential oils? You know, you use water, vinegar, alcohol that's in there to get your own. You buy something like a seventh generation, what I've used. A lot of those things, you really want to be conscious of what we're breathing in, what we're putting into our households, and everything else that's going on with that too. And our last one, our thoughts. How can you limit the thoughts? Number one thing is probably get off social media. Now, I know never be able to cut it off completely. Some people can, which is fantastic. I use it myself, so it's how I communicate a lot of these ideas, but hopefully you're using it for the right reasons. You're not getting stuck into the drama that people have throughout their lives, everything that's going on with it too, and just draws you in. After an hour you're here like just watching, reading all these other things. It's really bad for us. It just brings us to a negative state. Another thing is watching the news. Absolutely probably one of the worst things that we can do. Like they say, garbage in, garbage out. That's when we start to see more and more negative things. Now, I'm not saying, hey, don't find out what's going on with it. But again, just glance over it. Don't put the news on the first thing in the morning. Put on something that's positive. Listen to podcasts. Listen to the radio. Do something that's a lot more productive for us. Because a lot of times what the news does, what social media does, is fear and really fear-based. It really wants to make sure we're staying in a state of fear, which creeping up with that. So you can see now, our body, our brain and nervous system, it doesn't matter if it's a trauma, a toxin, or a thought, it's a stress. So when it's under these stresses, it starts to build more and more and more until it gets overflowed, and that's when we go into that sympathetic overdrive, and it gets stuck there. And that's where a lot of people don't understand, is that our bodies get stuck in a sympathetic overdrive, and it's always there. So our body's in that survival mode 24/7, 365. It's going, going, going. It starts to break down. Our body's not working the best it can. That's why when we start to adjust our patients, we start to stimulate that parasympathetic system, that slowing down, that break, starting to get back into that growth. That's why it's so important that kids are getting adjusted, is because that's when the development and growth is happening at the young age. How important is it that the nervous system is not under this constant stress? Because when it's in a constant stress, it's not growing, it's not thriving, it's not reaching that full potential. So that's why it's so important that we want to make sure that there's no disturbance between the brain and the body with that too. So our second letter that we're going to be talking about is U. So in the first video we had one letter, the second video now we have U. So we want to remember that. So when you get the third video, you'll get the third word, we will put that into play. So right now, you've just learned a lot of information. You learned from these two first videos, and a lot of people say, well, knowledge is power. Once I have it, it's fantastic. I think that's limited thinking, because really, I can give you all the information I just gave you. If you don't do anything to it, it's absolutely useless, honestly. So really, applied knowledge that's where our power comes from. And that's where we really want to be understanding on. We want to start putting this into play. We want to start putting this, how we're able to reduce that stress onto our nervous system, how we're able to also reduce those 3 T's in our lives. We're able to reach our full potential for not only for you, but also for your family. And our last one is shared knowledge is power. We want to make sure that you're able to share it to somebody, because there's so many people out there who, first off, may never have heard this information before and can be really life-changing. We want to make sure you're able to share this with not only with your family, but coworkers and friends. So obviously, too, next time you come in, you might have got this one before, but again, you want to look at it again. So our VIP pass, You want to make sure you get one of those. I'm sure there's someone in your head that you're thinking, wow, there's someone who could really use this, and this is what we want to make sure of it. So this is my grandmother, and she's the reason why I became a chiropractor. Because back in 1987, she was on a cruise. She slipped and fell and hurt her back. Came home, talked to my mom. She said, I hurt my back, what should I do? My mom said, well, our neighbor goes to a chiropractor. Let me take you up there. Now, we've never been to a chiropractor before. Our family, I didn't even know what a chiropractor was. But my mom came up here, and after hearing what the chiropractor was talking about, learned about subluxation, how it could affect someone's health, she probably made the best decision, I feel, and helped me in my life. She decided that her two sons, and her husband needed to get checked. So I came in as a 14-year-old, listening to my mom, as a good boy. Never had complaints, never had neck pain, never had back pain or anything else with that too. But we did find out when we came in, we didn't have scans back then, but we had x-rays. But I had a straight neck. And the reason why is because I used to sleep on my stomach. And when you sleep on your stomach, you have two options. Either you're going to suffocate, which I didn't do in my first 14 years of my life, or you're going to turn your head and you're going to stay like that. So you can see 8-10 hours a day sleeping like that, how it could affect the nervous system and everything that goes along with it. But after hearing the same information, very similar to what you just heard over these first two videos, learning how the body works, I decided that's what I want to be. I want to be a chiropractor. And so at the age of 16 years old, I knew exactly what I wanted to be. I went to school, got my degree in biology, went to chiropractic school. Luckily enough, I was able to come back to the same exact office that I was able to be a patient in, and now I'm able to help our community to reach their full potential. And that's why it's so important. Now, a lot of people always ask me, well, do you still get adjusted? And I've been getting adjusted on a weekly basis for the last over 30 years. Not because I feel bad, because I have an injury, or my body's not working well. I get adjusted in order to stay healthy. A lot of people come into our office to, as we call, restorative care. They want to get rid of something. I get adjusted to add life to myself. I want to add life to my life. I want to make sure my nervous system is working the best it can so I'm able to stay healthy. My grandmother, she's down in Florida. She still gets adjusted. Why? Because she wants to stay healthy. She gets a little bit older, a little bit more aches and pains maybe going in, but she's still getting adjusted to make sure that she's working the best it can too. And that's why it's so important. Because right now you might be thinking about somebody. You might be thinking, is this the reason why my wife always gets those headaches? Or is this why my husband, he just seems like he has no more energy? Or is this why our son Johnny, he just can't sit still? Is this really why my little Susie, she seems like she's always sick? I wonder, is this the reason my coworker is always missing work? Is this the reason why my neighbor seems like he's always complaining what's going on? I wonder what you're wondering. Can this subluxation, this nervous disturbance, be the reason why my family, my friends are not living to their full potential? And that's the biggest thing. Because right now, you have an opportunity to help people. You have an opportunity to help yourself, your family, but also our community. And that's part of our mission. Again, our mission is to empower families to take control of their health, leading our community toward a lifetime of optimal wellness. I want every single patient, every single person in our community to live the life that I have. Don't get sick. Last time I was sick or missed a day of school or work was back in 1989. Not saying I never get sick ever, but when I do get sick, it lasts 12 hours, 24 hours. I don't get headaches. Everyone who comes in our office, you see Karita, she's my mom. She's been getting just the same a long time. She's 70 years old, kicking butt. She's out there playing tennis once a week, cardio, working out, and she's just telling stories. She tells stories where she has friends who are not able to get off the floor or even get and move around. They just have to sit around all day. What kind of life is that? And that's what chiropractic is about. Is not only is getting people away from something that they might be getting away from a headache, from ADHD, from ear infection, being sick all the time, just have low energy. Not getting away from things, but we start adding in life. We add in life so you're able to live the life that you want to do, so you and your family are able to reach the full potential. And that's what our goal is for each and one of our patients who walk through our door. So guys, thank you for watching our second video. Make sure when you come in, you pick up our VIP pass, because I know there's somebody out there that could actually benefit from this, and we want to make sure they're able to get checked, see exactly if there's any nerve disturbance going on with their spine, so they're able to live the life that they want. Guys, have a great day out there. Make sure to watch our third video. Third video is great. Go over some exercises that you're able to do on a daily basis. Nice and easy. Not, you shouldn't even call them exercises or stretches. We want to make sure you're able to do that. So guys, have a great day. We'll see you then.